three phases, this is one of those whitewash type games.
Going deep, Turner, Tucker, that's Trey Tucker, in for the touchdown. And Lane is going to go back inside the 10. Here comes a flag dropped right away. And Jalen Lane gets past Cole the punter. He's going to go all the way for a touchdown. Check that flag way back inside the 10.
Welcome to the Put On Waivers Media Group, home of the Put On Raiders podcast and the Student Body Right podcast. This is your place for the best breakdowns and the best insight for those who fight on and bleed silver and black. Now, here are your hosts, Dwayne Douglas and Ryan Holmes.
And welcome, everybody, to another glorious episode of the Put On Raiders podcast. I'm your host, Dwayne Douglas, along with Ryan Holmes. And we are podcasting from the 1 and 2, give up 40 points a game, Shores, whatever, why you want to call it from. I mean, the Raiders were awful today. I thought they could lose the game to the Commanders. I did not think that they'd give up 41 points with Marcus Mariota behind, doing the signals. But I mean, they did some good things, I guess, for the Raiders. For the Commanders, and they killed it today. And the Raiders did not. Ryan, let's just jump into your thoughts about about this game. I'll chime in with mine. But just as far as team readiness goes, I mean, this was from the outset, it was just putrid.
Yeah, the team wasn't ready to play today, which is unacceptable, especially when you have a coach of Pete Carroll's stature that's been around this league and had the success he's had, and he even owned up to it in the press conference, and said he didn't have the guys ready to go. They didn't hit this week in practice coming off the Monday night. We can use all the excuses we want. They played the second Monday night game, flew across the country for a 10 a.m. game in Washington, but it's unacceptable. They were facing a Commanders team that hadn't played well for 2 weeks. They didn't have their starting quarterback. They didn't have their starting running back. They were down 2 starting offensive linemen.
Mm-hmm.
Terry McLaurin left the game at one point. They were down defensive starters. The Raiders got their ass kicked in every phase of this game. Special teams, offense, defense, coaching. The water boy probably lost. Like, the equipment guy lost. They all lost. Like, everyone took L's today that was involved with the Raiders, including the fans watching what seems like a putrid effort that we get 3 or 4 times a year out of this team, and regardless of who the players or the coaches are. And this reminds me a lot of, unfortunately, I went to that week 3 game against Carolina last year where Andy Dalton just destroyed the Raiders. And just watching this game, I had the same feeling over and over again. But the coach didn't stand up and say business decisions after this game. But it is inexcusable
Yeah.
to have Pete Carroll at the helm of this team and play as bad as they played. I don't care who the players are.
I felt bad for. I know, being an East Coast Raider fan, I lived on the East Coast before I moved to West Coast, and I remember I wasn't gonna go. I didn't trust the Raiders yet, and I wasn't gonna go to the 3 Crabtree Ravens game. I was like, I'm not gonna go. I don't want to spend the money. I know they're not gonna show. They're gonna do a no show. I'm glad I went, and I went to that game. When you have like those opportunities to see the Raiders play on the East Coast, and you're an East Coast Raider fan, for them to give that kind of effort, that kind of that kind of performance, if you will, because there were a lot of Raider fans there too in the stands, and I just felt awful for them to make that trip. I know how much I know what a hassle that is to travel to these games, and that was just brutal. And I think that for me, special teams horrible, everything was horrible, and I think also too is that the term nepotism comes into a play a lot. Nowadays, people make fun of LeBron with Bronny. People, all these little aspects of nepotism. But when you run a football team and the group, the Raiders are struggling all over the place. But when they are struggling in one of the most important spots in a football team, which is the offensive line, and that's where your son is the head of it, the eyeballs burn even brighter. when Brendan Carroll is out here, just his unit is not performing well.
It's a problem. On any given snap today, there was 4 offensive linemen just getting absolutely whipped.
Mhm.
And you can't have any success doing that. Colton Miller was the only one that kind of held his own today. He didn't have a
Yep.
great game by any stretch of the imagination, but
Yep.
Dylan Parham looks lost. And I've never been a big Dylan Parham guy. I know when Gabe Jackson was around, everyone loved Gabe Jackson. They treated him like a Pro Bowler. And watching the film, he was an average guard.
Yep.
But fans held him in a high regard. And they kind of did the same thing with Dylan Parham. He was the first pick of the Dave Ziegler regime that year. And they kind of put him up on this pedestal. And you watch the film, Dylan Parham is maybe a fringe level player in the National Football League. And people act like he's a Pro Bowler or a solid player. And he's never been that.
Yeah.
And this year he's barely serviceable this year. Like he's playing like a backup, maybe a guy that should be inactive some weeks. He has blocks where he just is just getting dominated at the point of attack. He's just letting guys run by him. The play where they went empty in this game, where they motioned Genty out, and you don't have anyone, you have five guys to block. I believe they only brought five.
Yeah.
And Bobby Wagner comes through the A gap, and Dylan Parham just opens the door and lets him run through
Yeah.
and just sack Geno. So, like, what are we doing? You got to squeeze that down, make the edge rusher come free, and give the quarterback a chance. But Dylan Parham didn't do anything.
Yeah.
And that we're not even talking about Jordan Meredith, who was just getting thrown around the field for the second week in a row. He's just too small to play center. He doesn't have the strength to do it. And this team. Alex Kappa was horrible again today, and for Pete Carroll to stand there at the press conference and basically say, "Well, JPJ, we didn't hit this week, so we didn't feel comfortable putting him out there." Then why is he active? If he's up and he can play him, or else get Carlos Rogers up and get someone else you can put on the field. But clearly they weren't comfortable putting JPJ on the field at any point today because they had numerous chances to do it. I believe they benched DJ Glaze for a series because Stone Forsythe played a series in the first half. And DJ Glaze went back in. Unless there was an equipment issue or an injury issue, Stone Forsythe replaced him at one point. And at some point, Pete Carroll's going to have to look in the mirror and say, the problem with this team right now is the unit that's coached by my child, my son. And if he doesn't
Yes.
do anything about that, that's a huge problem. They could have brought him over to be the assistant offensive line coach, and they could have brought in a veteran O-line coach to help, but they didn't. He entrusted this offense. And if I'm Chip Kelly, I'm pissed. I can't run anything because we can't run block. We can't get off a combo block. We can't do anything. I can't do anything in the passing game. And Geno Smith is back there like a deer in the headlights. And when he does have time, he's holding the ball way too long.
Yep.
It's like he can't see the coverages. Like Geno Smith's playing like a rookie right now, which is inexcusable for a guy that's been around as long as he had. So the problems with this team right now are
Mhm.
inflicted by the guys Pete Carroll brought in. It's Geno Smith. It's the offensive line coach. And then you look at John Spytek. They didn't do anything really to upgrade this offensive line. They brought in Alex Kappa and they drafted two rookies who haven't been active. So um, it's been a rough go the first couple weeks. Thank God they got that win against the Patriots. But at this point, the Bears are beating up on the Cowboys right now. It's not a gimme next week against the Bears. If this offensive line can't do anything, this team is in trouble. And we saw the holes in the defense that everyone thought was going to happen. And then when you can't play special teams, my God, the opening kickoff goes almost for a touchdown. A punt goes for a touchdown. Isaiah Pola-Mao standing right there to make a tackle for a short gain.
Yeah.
Doesn't even get a hand on the guy. Zamir White's running after the guy down the sideline. He's scared to death of contact when a guy might touch him. He stopped. I don't know if you saw that, but Zamir White had an angle to make the play and literally stopped because some guy might have blocked him. Um, and we haven't even talked about Ashton Jeanty yet, but this game is very frustrating because, like I said to you earlier, this game happens 3 or 4 times every year for the Raiders for the last 10 years. We didn't expect this to happen with Pete Carroll and Tom Brady and all the guys that are in the organization now. It's unfortunate that it did. Hopefully it doesn't happen again.
If it happened one time a year, you can almost excuse because you could say that they're human beings, short week, everything like that. But like, come on, bro. It's like, what are we doing with the giving the Raiders a soft practice week? I mean, why have they earned that? I mean, because
The offense hasn't been good, honestly,
it
for
has not been good.
eight quarters.
Yeah, it hasn't been good at all.
They haven't been good for 10 of the 12 quarters this season. Think about it.
Yeah, it's brutal. It's brutal. And then you can't keep protecting, this draft class because I mean you have Charles, you drafted Charles Rogers, you drafted Caleb Rogers, you drafted Charles Grant and Caleb Rogers. Like when do we have time for like those dudes to not be ready. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, you have to, if you were going to take two tackles in this draft, and that was you look at that big board, whatever, and you're going to take two tackles in this draft, or tackle in the guard in this draft, you have to make sure that you have guys who are just kind of ready to go. Like, you know what I'm saying? Or who can step in and you can, like, for a couple of series, give them opportunities to play. And with these guys being inactive, and healthy scratches means, like, I mean, some of these guys, I mean, are they simply just not going to be good enough to play at all this year until the season's over? Until we get to, like, week, 12, when you're completely out of the whole race of the playoffs. I mean, I mean, this draft class is looking like really, like, okay, we got Genty and Thornton, who may have some ability, but then everybody else is just like not getting any snaps because they're not good enough, and the people in front of them aren't really that good either. So I don't know.
I would look at it this way. They didn't draft Grant to play this year. Like, he's not ready to play.
Mm-hmm.
He's coming from William and Mary, and he's not better than Colton Miller, so he's not going to play. Um, the issue you have is keeping Thayer Mumford as your swing tackle, because if you knew anything was going to go wrong with DJ Glaze, they didn't have anyone that could replace him and come in and help. That's on the GM and the coach and the player personnel department. The fact that they thought they fixed the inside with Kappa and then they
Yeah,
decided to put Meredith. Let's just end the Meredith at center. Just end it. Just put JPJ back at center and let him play center. He won the Allen Trophy. He was good last year as a center. If we're having communication issues with Jordan Meredith, who's getting thrown around the field like a rag doll, then we can have communication issues, but at least have it with JPJ and let him play center.
yeah,
Um, and then if you want to put him at Meredith at left guard, do it. Rogers might be able to play here soon, but I don't think Grant's going to play at all.
yeah.
And he shouldn't. If they looked at this roster and the whole, this goes back to the premise of trading for Geno Smith and Pete Carroll standing up and they're saying, we're going to compete, we're going for it now. And then they had all the holes on this team that 3 weeks in that are all starting to show up. And then the quarterback's not playing well.
Yep.
It's tough. And I tweeted last week, I kind of subtly tweeted that I thought Jack Bech was going to start getting more snaps. It's because when you watch Dante Thornton on film, he can't do anything but run a go route. That's it.
Yep.
Like his underneath routes, his out routes, anything that needs separation, physicality at the top of the break, he
You can't
can't
do
get
it.
it. He can't get in and out of cuts. It's just he's a straight line runner. He's Darius Hayward Bay all over again. Um, he's like, and you saw it today on third downs. Thornton was mostly off the field. They had Besh in there, and you knew that was coming because when you watch the film, like Geno doesn't trust Thornton at all. Like even if he's somewhat open, he's not throwing him the ball because you don't know where he's going to be. You don't know if he's going to win the route. And you can't just have him run down the field and run go routes because these other receivers need to get involved. Brock Bowers is not healthy. He shouldn't even have been playing the last 2 weeks. He's playing at like 50%. He can barely run. He can't get
Yep.
in and out of cuts. Losing Michael Mayer on special teams making a tackle is
Brutal.
tough. It's
Brutal.
tough.
Brutal.
Someone's got to play special teams. That's just how it is. He's the backup tight end, but you're going to start to see Best start to play more. You know, Blue Kelly 2 weeks in a row gave up a ball over the top. We saw Darian Porter play in the whole fourth quarter. I don't know if that continues next week. They probably go back to Kelly, but he's on a short leash now. Which another issue that we thought was going to happen. Isaiah Pollinow had a terrible game. And when he dropped that interception early, and then he got a penalty on the next play, you're like, oh man. And then he misses the tackle. So,
Yeah.
um, yeah, it's an issue all the way around. Jeremy Chin has been all right. I thought the linebackers didn't play very well. That he didn't really see them make tackles and shoot gaps and be aggressive. And you saw Washington take advantage of this style of defense the Raiders want to play. They ran the ball at them and they were able to move guys and create holes. And then when they wanted to, whenever they wanted to, they could throw the ball over the head of the linebackers in front of the corners and safeties in that cover three defense. And um, the first week, I thought Patrick Graham did a great job. He mixed everything up in that second half. It was cover one, he was cover zero, he was cover three, he was cover two, he was cover six. Last week, if you turn on the Chargers game, they played cover three like 80 to 90% of the time. It was
Why?
alarming
Why does
how
this
much they
happen?
did that.
Why does this happen? This is like the Charger. Is it the only? Is it like remember the Charger game from a couple of years ago? We were really happy with the defensive play calling. How come this happens with him all the time? Where he just reverts back to like
I,
one defensive.
I don't know if that's Pete Carroll or that's Graham. I don't know what they did this week, but they didn't do
Yeah.
much. And every time like they gave up a pass play, you could tell they were pretty much in cover three.
Yeah.
So And this has been our issue with Patrick Graham the whole time. It's like they never take anything away, ever.
Yes.
They don't take away
Yes.
the number one receiver on the other team. They hardly ever stop the run and make a team one-dimensional. Um, and the game plan this week should have been put 8 guys in the box and don't let them run the ball. Like they have 2 backup offensive linemen, a backup running and a backup quarterback, and you blink an eye and they have 170 yards rushing in the first half. Like that can't happen. You have to
And
make Marcus Mariota drop back and throw the ball 30 or 40 times.
yeah.
If you let them run the ball for 250 yards or whatever they ran for, and then they can just mix in a couple play actions and hit a one shot deep, the game's over. Like, so I don't know what Patrick Graham tried to do in this game defensively. They don't know if they tried to take anything away. They thought they were good enough just to show up and roll their helmets on the field and beat them defensively, but
Mhm.
they got it handed to them. Hopefully it's a wake up call. It's only week 2. But that Bears game's not going to be easy next week. The Titans are a physical football team. I know they haven't won, but they're a
Their front
physical.
seven, their front seven's good.
This Raiders offensive line, if they don't pick it up, this team could be 1-4, 1-5 very quickly. And then they haven't even played some of the better teams that are going to be coming up on their schedule. So,
Yeah.
um, this again, going back to the offseason, you and I weren't big Genty guys, and Genty's been good compared to like the blocking he's had. But like we didn't think he would win. The Raiders would win any more games with Genty than without him.
Yeah.
Because we didn't think the offensive line was good enough, and
Yeah.
we both wanted offensive linemen. Um, we neither one of us were huge Carroll guys because, and I still the tweets are still out there. If people want to look them up. Like my thing was, what does success with Pete Carroll look like 3 years from now when he's 77 years old?
Yeah.
If this team goes 4-13 or 5-12 or even 6-11, and
Yeah.
next year goes 7-10 or 8-9, what does it matter? Like, because they're going to have to blow this up with an older quarterback and start all over again. I hate
Mhm.
talking about this in week 3 after winning week 1 and think, okay, this team might have a chance to win 8, 9, maybe 10 games. This team, like I said, they haven't played well for 10 out of 12 quarters, and it's not going to get any easier until this offensive line gets fixed. And I don't know if Pete Carroll and Brendan Carroll are too stubborn to just say screw it and put JPJ back at center and then figure out who they're going to play at guards. But there's not a lot of more reinforcements coming. This is the team they have. You can't just go out and find starting caliber players going into week 4 of the National Football League. This stuff should have been done in the offseason. If they didn't like JPJ in the offseason, they should have went and got a freaking center.
Moved them. They
Like,
should have moved
what are
them.
we
I mean, yeah,
doing?
yeah, what are we doing? 100%. And I think also too is it's a copycat league. So you're gonna see teams probably go to tempo against the Raiders because they had issues with tempo in this game, and they got a warning for their substitution patterns in the game, trying to slow the game down. So that could be an issue. Running the football right at the Raiders, like you talked about, they're going to run the people are going to sit there and say, oh, I don't have to even put the ball in harm's way. All I got to do is run the football. I mean, they even got a fumble off of Mariota on a huge run. But I mean, so this whole thing could have been worse. And the Raiders and the Commanders in this game let up a lot. They really could have if they really wanted to put the screws to the Raiders and put up a 50 burger, they probably could have. And in this ball game with Marcus Mariota, which is like nuts to fucking even think about it. So
And they
that's it.
don't have a true nose tackle. They're playing Butler and Booker together at the same time.
Yeah, it's just
Um,
yeah. So I mean, that's what I mean. I don't. I mean, that's like
the
I don't
roster
know.
construction is a huge question right now.
I
And I
don't.
like a lot of the moves they made. They just
Yeah,
at the spots that really matter, they don't have the players they need, and that they've had all off season to address those. They didn't.
I
They
don't.
drafted a running back.
Yeah.
They drafted a wide receiver who they're not even playing really, and then they drafted another wide receiver who's one dimensional, and then they drafted 2 developmental offensive linemen and a developmental corner. Like
Yeah.
that's what, one, two, that's 6 picks in the first 3 rounds.
Yeah. I don't get it. I don't understand. We on this show, we talk about roster construction all the time. We go over the depth chart, we see where the weaknesses are, and people who are getting paid millions of dollars just just can't even like. I understand that the Raiders can't fix everything in one off season. That is every team in National Football League. But let me see a attack plan on okay. I got Chip Kelly. I got a veteran quarterback. I got hopefully some weapons on the outside, and I got a rookie running back. So after I draft a rookie running back, I mean, or if that's my plan before the draft even happens, I have to solidify this offensive line. I can't have a a guy who knows never played center ever in his life. Okay, here you go, NFL, go play center. When I have two centers, two guys who play center on the team and who actually have experience playing center on the team as it is. And now, I mean, did JBJ even start today? I mean, he wouldn't even start today. It was all Alice Cap. Like, why are we?
He
Like,
was active. He didn't play. He played on special teams.
yeah, so it's like so we're sitting here watching Alice Capel as if he's like some big offensive lineman like he's Gene Upshaw or something like that. He's not. Like we know what he was last year. So the Spy Tech, everybody who said let Spy Tech cook, all that stuff like that. We all knew he was bad. So now he comes to the Raiders and he's bad, and I'm not going to act surprised that he is. I mean, it's been like I said, it's early. It is what it is. But a lot of these teams just have the Raiders play on their schedule. Even if they're a bad team, they have decent pass rushers and decent pieces up front. So that's going to be a problem for the Raiders all season.
It's funny you said pass rushers because where was Malcolm Kuntz and Tyree Wilson today? I, they didn't do anything. Oh wait, Malcolm
Face
Kuntz
mask, face mask.
made a stupid penalty, and the people trying to defend him, like, well, he reached out and he was trying to get a sack and grab him. It's know the situation. There's 15 seconds left on the half. They don't have any timeouts. They have no timeouts. The last thing you could do is commit a 15-yard penalty to put them in field goal range. Just tackle the guy in bounds. Don't touch him at all. Let someone else tackle him, and you go to halftime. But it's stupid things like that. And to me, the biggest thing I'm watching this week is if Pete Carroll just rolls the ball back out there next week with the same five offensive linemen, this season is cooked.
Yeah,
like they have to do something. It's been 3 weeks in a row.
I agree.
And if they think, well, we'll just play these guys and they'll get better, that tells me that him and Brendan Carroll lost. And this season's a lost cause, and we're not even out of September.
Whether it's Stuart Schweigert back in the day or whoever the Raiders defensive players were, I have seen that Jeremy Nichols run my whole life with the Raiders. Oh, my whole life. Have him in the backfield.
Two guys.
Right
there. I think it was Chen and Roberts were right there.
Right
and
there. Right.
Out.
And they can't squeeze that play. They can't squeeze that play as well. So, yeah.
In Roberts' defense, he's playing with one arm, but you still have to make that tackle.
That was brutal. Man.
And I feel bad because, like, when I watch the All-22, I try to put out positive stuff unless something's really egregious. Like, I don't know what I'm going to do this week. Like, just show 3 Trey Tucker touchdowns and call it a day.
I mean,
sack at the end of the game because I don't know if they really did anything in this game of any real value.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, the holding on to the football and not having like trying to get the ball out of his hands fast is just he's not. I think he had a hamstring thing in week 1 against the Patriots, and you can see. I mean, he not that he was like a Michael Vick burner at any stretch of his career, but Geno Smith, you can see how kind of slow he is, just trying to get to the corner, trying to get anywhere. So now he's really a stationary.
At the top of his drop back. I texted, he looks like old man Jeff George back there.
He does look like old man.
Get back there and plant your feet.
Jeff George, yes. Oh man. Jeff George had his own playbook in the huddle. Good old Jeff George. Yeah, it's I don't know. I mean, it's really hard to watch, and I'm watching, like, I mean, on the side of me, I'm watching the Bears play and watching the Broncos play, and like I know it's people were talking about the Bears actually look a little bit better offensively this week, so maybe like if they start getting it together. And then I'm sure they're sitting there looking at the Raiders defense and saying, okay, this could be, maybe if we win this game and then, get to the Raider game, it could be even more success for them as well.
I look at it this way too. If the Raider, just watching the film, and I gave Chip Kelly some credit last year because I thought in the second half he called a fairly decent game. I just don't think the players executed it.
Yep.
I don't think that's the case this week. It looks to me like Geno, like I said, he's getting back late. He's not seeing the defense. He's not reading it. And he's trying to hold the ball and make plays and push the ball down the field. But at some point, Chip Kelly, it's okay to throw a screen to your running back and slow the pass rush down. It's okay to get the ball to the running back in space. Like, he hasn't thrown a screen in 3 weeks.
Yeah. Shout out to K1 Raider who watches the show. and he and I are on Twitter talking about um are they gonna because like I think somebody threw a nice screen pass and he was like, hey, did Chip Kelly throw a screen pass yet? And we're still
Oh,
waiting for that screen pass. We're still waiting for it. It has not shown
still
up
waiting.
yet. It's been bad. I mean, and that could be a way to get Genty to get JT going. I mean, I've seen running backs get going by just handing ball off, yes, but you can also get him in space. And he's once he gets behind some big offensive linemen, he's like 5'7", 5'8". He's hard to find. Like, low center of gravity. By the time you find him, it could be 12, 15 yards down the field for a first down.
Yeah, they just have to get the ball out of Gino's hands faster.
Yeah, I
And,
agree.
and I think there's probably opportunities where Chip is dialing it up and Gino's just holding the ball.
Yep.
And you can kind of see him like he's staying on his first read
Yes,
way, way
100%.
too long. Even the touchdown, I think it was the second one he threw to Tucker on the crossing route on the shallow.
Yeah,
And you could see him like staring to his right, and like all of a sudden he's like, oh, the second read, and he's wide open, and he kind of throws it out there late.
yeah,
It's like he wasn't processing it quick enough to get over there.
yeah.
Thank God Trey Tucker showed up today and scored 3 touchdowns. He's been open on film all year. They
He
finally.
also, he also, I want to give him credit too for that. That well, I think he either slipped or something like that, but he looked like he fell on his stomach, but still was able to catch the ball, and the ball didn't hit the ground. You know what I mean?
I'm not sure he caught that ball, but they
I thought
they
he caught.
allowed it. It,
I thought
it looked like it
you
hit
think
the. To me,
you think he caught it? I thought he caught that
it
one.
looked to me like it may have hit the ground, but
Okay,
they
okay,
ran up
okay.
there and ran another play. The game was
Yeah,
over at
they
that
get, they
point.
get it up anyway. So yeah, I mean, listen, it is what it is. I mean,
We'll give it to him.
we'll give it to him. We'll give it to him. If the game was tied, it probably would have been incomplete. How the Raiders things the
It'll be
Raiders luck
interesting to see
goes.
what they do next week because let's just assume looking forward that Michael Mayer has a concussion and he's not going to play.
Yeah.
Brock Bowers is 50%.
Yep.
They can't really run 12 personnel next week.
I
So they're going
cannot.
to have to be like heavy 11. Um, I'm at the point now where it's like activate JJ Pegues and let him play fullback and then use him as short. If you're not going to hand the ball to Ashton
Yeah.
Jenkins, if you want to hand the ball to Zamir White or Dalen Laube and 3rd and 1, 3rd and 2, 4th and 1, 4th and 2, just give it to the big man. He did it in college over and over and over again. He's surprisingly athletic with the ball in his hands.
Yeah.
Use some creativity. And
Did
watching Pete Kelly this week or Chip Kelly this week was like watching a preseason game. Where were the motions? Where were getting guys open in space? Where
yeah.
were the play call? Like it just to me, and I'll have to watch the all 22, although I don't want to this week. It was just very concerning watching it. And again, hopefully it's not the same thing as last week where it was just Gino holding the ball and not getting it to some open receivers. But I don't know if it would have mattered this week. Like you said, they got their ass handed to them in every phase of this game, including coaching.
Yeah, no question about it. I think the Broncos and the Bears just scored at the same time. So they're back in both of those games. And the Raiders don't have a practice squad tight end who they can try to continue to play.
They could call up Runyon, but like he's more of like
Yeah.
a shifty receiver. He's not going to block. Like Ian Thomas is on this roster to be that kind of blocker, and he just hasn't blocked well this
But
year.
yeah, not at all.
So
Yeah, not at all. Yeah, you can say you have depth somewhere, and then all of a sudden it's gone in 2 seconds, right? That seems the way that's the way it happens in the National Football League. But yeah, just I don't. It's yeah, it's brutal. It's brutal. It's brutal.
this was a tough watch, and
Yeah,
hopefully we don't have to do that again this year.
yeah, no question about it. Let's see here. So, anything else as far as the this game for you, Ryan?
No, I thought, like I said, I thought Genty. I think it was 17 carries for 63 yards. I think that he did the most he could with the blocking he had. It's still not good enough,
I mean, he
but
showed some signs.
yeah,
Some
and
signs.
some of it was late. But I think the biggest thing, like I said, is this pass rush has to start getting home defensively, and
Mhm.
I know that pass rush win rate and this and that and all these analytics are great, but someone's got to get the quarterback on the ground. That's what matters at the end of the day.
Yeah. The
It can't
this
just be
yeah.
Max Crosby and Jonah. And if you want to get real, like they had 4 sacks the opening week. 2 of them were kind of scramble. quarterback goes out of bounds before he gets the line of scrimmage.
Mhm.
That happened last week as well. This week was like on a busted play where Max Crosby just blew up the tight end and got in the backfield on play action. Like they're not affecting the quarterback in the pocket on normal
No.
drop back plays. Max Crosby's kind of, and I don't know if this is Pete Carroll or who's coaching this, but he's taking really wide angles to get outside the tight end. He's so far away from the quarterback. When the quarterback gets to the top, there's nothing he can do, and
Yep.
no one else is winning. Adam Butler's not winning. Thomas Booker has these great pass rush win rates, but he's not getting anywhere near the quarterback. He has like one tackle this year. Um, he ran down the field and forced the fumble, which is great, but like at some point they have to start creating negative plays. They have to get
Yeah.
the other team in long, and they couldn't get off the field this week,
No.
and that's a concern. And I'm scared to death to play backup quarterbacks now because the Raiders just play really bad against them, whether it's Nick Mullins or whether it's Nick Foles or whether it's Andy Dalton last year or
Yeah.
Marcus. They should not they should not be wiped off the field by Marcus Mariota. That's
Yeah.
unacceptable.
Yeah. And I would also say like don't go into this game this week against the Bears and say anything like don't let these little false stats fool you this week. This wasn't an ass kicking. Like this was an ass kicking in every possible way that their Raiders got their ass kicked in this game. And if the Commanders were they had a little Steve Spurrier in them, they could have made this look really ugly this week. Like
Dan Quinn was being nice to his old friend Pete Carroll this week.
yes, he was. Yeah, exactly. And then of course you have that video of him with blood coming down his face in the game because he got hit on the play as well too. So out of bounds. But listen, bad job by the Raiders this week. Hopefully it gets better. I don't think they'll have an easy practice schedule this week. I think they should be going over the fine details of what the Bears and Ben Johnson want to do. And if you are, but every time next week when Caleb Williams runs for a first down, or the Bears get a first down, or score a touchdown, don't be mad when you hear a loud roar from the Bears fans, because the Bears
They will
fans
travel.
they will try. They are at this game. Trust. I know a lot of Bears fans. They are at this game. Believe me. So it's going to be really disheartening to hear all the cheering and yelling for the Chicago Bears next week.
I was at the game, Bears at Raiders a few years ago. I think it was Gruden's last game. They lost to Justin Fields.
Yeah,
There was Bears fans everywhere.
everywhere, bro, everywhere.
I think they
Everywhere.
should practice this week on offensive linemen how to combo block and how to climb to the second level and how to do anything. How to just stand in one space and not let guys run right by you. Let's start there.
How to get a hat? How to
thing
get a hat on a hat? How's that? Just a hat on a hat.
These are professional NFL offensive linemen that have played football their whole life and in college. Like asking them to combo block isn't rocket science. They've been doing it their whole
Yes.
life. Like, why
Yeah.
are they so bad at it?
Yeah.
Like, I know that coaching doesn't seem great, but at some point, these are professional athletes with pride. Like, just go do a combo block, execute it. Like,
Yeah.
it's not tough. Like,
Yeah.
the scheme
You've,
hasn't really
yeah.
changed. Like, inside zone is inside zone. Like,
Yeah.
so I don't know.
And I think we all know what a stunt looks like, so they should be able to pick those up just a little bit better, a little bit better than they have in
Well,
the past.
I know that Dylan Lobby had a catch in I think it was the second game, late in the game, made a play in the open field, got 15 yards. Like let's end him in the 2 minute drill. Like he just got run over like a speed bump and killed that drive before half. And it was 17-10, and the Raiders had a chance to cut it to 17-13 or even tie it going to the half, getting the ball back, and that drive ended. And then Malcolm Kuntz had a stupid penalty, and they were before you know it, it was 20-10, and then a punt return, it's 27-10 in a blink of an eye.
And real quick, is Raheem Mostert a healthy scratch all these weeks?
He has to be, and I don't know. I don't know why. And
That
we
is
saw
brutal,
them take
bro.
Zamir White off one kickoff. Trey Turner returned it, and then the next time, Zamir White's back there. But you can't put Trey Turner back there now because he's your most explosive wide receiver, making plays down the field.
Yeah, that's brutal. All right, so you got all 22. Ryan and I will be hopefully be back this week. I'm talking about all 22, and then we'll preview the Bears game. Get you ready for that. For those who are going,
Yeah.
for the 30% of people who are going to fill Allegiant Stadium.
I'm going to be in Chicago this weekend, and I may, try to catch it at a sports bar. I will not. be somewhere I can probably watch it most likely. Unless I can find a spot, I'm going up there with my wife for the weekend. So we'll see.
Yeah,
Might be a smart decision at this point.
I have never. It's a city that I've been dying to visit. I've never gone to. I've never
been there. It's been number one on our list for a while. We're going to a Cubs game, Cubs Cardinals on Saturday.
Oh, cool. That should be fun. All right, Raider Nation. Go to sleep. Don't watch any highlights of this game.
No victory Monday tomorrow.
No victory Monday. No game balls either. All right. See you.
No game balls.
See you next time.
Later.